Hello, Leo. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Leo is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Leo, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Two of Cups, look at that, love. It's all love, right? I feel like you're a person who is capable of love. You are ready to connect with people. And I think that you have a lot of close relationships in your life. I think you're someone who is more about the quality than the quantity, okay? I feel like you're a very inspiring person. I feel like when you're in any kind of relationship, friendship, any kind of a partnership, romantic, platonic, a work relation, it doesn't matter. Any kind of connection that you have, I feel like you're a very inspiring and a very supportive person. I feel like you have a warmth about you. I feel like there's a magnetism about you. People love to be around you. People love to love you, okay? And I think that it's a skill. It's like a talent that you have. It's a magic that you have where you can make the other person in the room feel like they're the only one that matters. You know? Like you really pay attention to people, and I feel like you're very genuine, okay? And very inspiring. I feel like people come to you when they just need to feel okay again. There's like just your presence feels very healing, okay? And I think that you cherish those relationships where there is mutual, like, uplifting, you know, where the relationship feels reciprocal, okay? Feels like it is a two-way street, as it should be. But also those relationships that feel that they are empowering, that, you know, they feel like you're challenging each other, you're motivating each other, you're lifting each other up. Not putting each other down. It's not a competition. It's not, no, it's that we all want to do our very best and be our very best and to achieve those things in life that we want to achieve. This is telling me that you prefer to be around people that will celebrate your wins with you. You'll celebrate wins with them, and also be around during the low points too, but someone that is sort of proud of others for their accomplishments, Anyway, you're very warm, very, very magnetized right now. Let's put this card into a little bit of context. We're going to use our Dove and Serpent spread. Wheel of Fortune, look at that. You are magnetic, very much so. We have an Emperor, we have our Fortune card, we have an Ace of Wands, we have a Queen of Swords, we have a Nine of Swords going into the future position. Interesting. Okay. I feel like this is some negative vibes from other people. I kind of feel like there's a jealousy thing going on here in your life because you have all this wonderful success, expansion, the relationships, all the love, all the magnetism, but yet I feel that there might be some kind of, there's some hater. Maybe one or more haters in your life. Over here we have a Princess of Cups. We have a Hermit. We have a Three of Pentacles. We have a Seven of Cups. So I do feel like there is somebody in your life that is kind of a hidden adversary, And I think that I kind of feel two things going on. I feel like you have a secret admirer, and then I feel like you have a secret adversary as well. And I don't think it's the same person. I think somebody is jealous of the attention that you get, jealous of the love that you're getting and the love that you're like exuding. But I feel like that jealousy just kind of like, it just makes you shine brighter. I don't feel like you're sinking to that level and you're not really responding to it in a negative way. I feel like it just kind of like, it makes the other person look bad. It kind of just, it exposes your true glow. You know what I mean? And so I think that is, it's not anything to be too concerned about, but it is something that is kind of affecting your daily life here. Okay, I do feel that there is a hidden admirer for you, a secret admirer, and I feel like you're going to feel a lot of love from them. They're sending something to you. It's a message. It's a gift. It's something like that. I don't know if you know who this is or not, but I feel like that's something that is happening in your life. I feel that there is a kind of a creative risk that's taking place, or that you're involved with, or that you will be involved with, that it's going to work out very well. Wheel of Fortune, expansion, all that grace from the universe, right? A lot of profit, a lot of prosperity. But I feel that you're kind of going into it with a little bit of fear. It feels kind of, well, honestly, with that 5, with the 7 and the 9 of, I was going to call it a 5 of Swords, but it's a 9 of Swords. It feels like it's quite terrifying, okay? But I feel like it is ultimately for your highest good. It's a risk that you're taking that I think is going to pay off very, very well. Now let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Wick Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. I set it down right over here with Mr. Ed, our tiny horse, right there on top. And now we're not going to look at that horse, of course, until the very end of the reading. It will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card might be, put your prediction in the comment section down beneath the video. Okay, now let's look around the room. 1, 2, 3 majors. I feel like there is a situation where you're being asked to shine your light, to step up and be the leader, to step up and sort of, you're invited to sort of stand tall and be in the spotlight, okay? I feel like it's your time to shine. You have to really, you got to trust this opportunity, okay? Because I think this is really, this is a risk. I feel like there is some stage fright kind of feelings here. There is a little bit of terror about it. Because maybe this is really kind of a big, big step for you. Okay, it feels like it is kind of a creative risk. Okay, I feel like your leadership is kind of being called upon. Okay, and I think that there is a little bit of jealousy from other people that's kind of adding to the complexity of the situation. But I feel like despite the hater, right? Despite that kind of jealousy energy, I feel like you're really going to shine. And I feel like you're really going to step up. Your flame, your emperor energy, your leadership, your, stature, your pride, was never meant to be hidden away. Because under the surface now needs to come forth, okay? And the Hermit's kind of, really the same energy. It's kind of saying, whatever's hidden now from the world, you got to reveal it. It's time for you to sort of like throw off the Hermit's cloak of invisibility and stand up tall and claim this, okay? Because it is something that is going to improve your life in a really major way. It feels like it's a definite turning point, okay? So we have our majors. We've got fire. We've got 1, 2, 3 water cards. We have a couple of air cards. And we have some earth. Okay, so first of all, love and all things good and all things healing, all things love are expanding in your life, okay? Jupiter is bringing in a lot of good fortune, a lot of prosperity, a lot of opportunities, okay? This might be at work, it might be at home, it might be at school, but it's something where you're going to have to kind of step up and claim something that is meant for you, despite the fact that there are either some critics or some people that are just downright like putting you down about something. Those aren't your people, okay? You're doing something now that is going to bring more love, more prosperity, I think, more attention to you, okay? Somebody else in your life doesn't like that. But the Jupiter energy is requiring trust and faith and hope. Okay, more grace is coming into your life, more good fortune. And when you start like getting a lot of jackpots, you start getting a lot of wins, kind of comes with the territory that somebody around you is going to be jealous of your success. Okay. I feel like you're not sinking to that level. I feel like it's just kind of bringing out even better qualities in you. You know, like you still are based, you know, your energy is still based on this Two of Cups, this love energy. So even with that jealousy coming in, you're not stooping down to any low level. Okay. Jupiter, like I said, or the Wheel of Fortune is a card of expansion. Okay, so something is growing in your life now. It's kind of like it's time for you to take something to the next level. It could be business opportunities, it could be family opportunities, something like this. Spirit seems to be putting a nice, beautiful, huge doorway in your path where there wasn't really a door before. I feel like you're getting a massive green light for something. Okay. And I feel that you're going to experience this through some synchronicity. Okay. There's going to be some kind of, something's going to confirm for you that you're on the right path. Yeah. And that things are improving. And it may be that you have such a wonderful attitude that even when you're in the bottom of the wheel, you know, between the rubber and the road, you still have such a fantastic attitude. I feel like our life could really be in the mud, and you still are able to express love and compassion and gratitude and support for other people. Even when you're really, really low and somebody else, you know, gets a win, you're able to really genuinely be happy for them, you know. And I think the reverse is true, although I think for one particular person that it's not the case. In other words, when you're starting to rise, when your star is starting to rise to the top of the wheel, and somebody else is still left low, I don't think they're going to be all that happy for you. That's where the jealousy comes in. Because you're the kind of person that when you're low and they're up, you're happy for them. You love it. You celebrate with them. You're proud of them, you know. You don't make it about you, right? But now that the situation's reversed, and I don't think it's for the same person, and I think this person's really going to reveal themselves when this happens, but you're going to be on the rise, and they're still going to be low. And I think they're going to kind of, you know, they're going to have maybe some nasty things to say to you. And that's super unfortunate, you know, but it does happen. And I think you're ready for that. And I think that it's going to kind of surprise you, and you're not going to like it, but you're going to handle it in a way that is kind of virtuous, you know. And so I think that it's important you don't let that spoil the good fortune that you're stepping into. Because I feel like your luck really is changing here. I feel like you're stepping up in a major way. The Emperor under the surface is your pride, it is your stature, it is your sort of leadership, your authority. It is your feeling like, I deserve the good stuff in life. Just because somebody's mad at me for achieving something doesn't mean I should feel bad about achieving something. So I think that it's an interesting situation that you're in. It's like somebody is trying to make you feel bad for succeeding at something, or for like you got the promotion and somebody else is like, oh gosh, well, you don't deserve it. I needed it. I deserve it, not you, you know. And I think you're a very compassionate person, and there's part of you that even would say like, I'm sorry, I wish I could just give it to you, you know. I wish I could trade places with, but that's not going to happen, okay? Because I don't think it's in your control, first of all. Now, you could sabotage yourself out of guilt, right? And that person, well, they're kind of throwing that guilt trip on you. They deserve the win, they deserve the promotion, and not you. Well, you could then just sabotage the whole thing, but Spirit's saying that they probably wouldn't get it anyway. So maybe don't do that, okay? I think that this is a very unfortunate situation, and you do care about everybody, and you want everybody to get exactly what they need, but sometimes you need the win too. You've earned it, you deserve it. I think it's coming from some idea that you have, or it's an invitation maybe that kind of is arriving for you because of your merit, because of what you have already proven. You've already worked hard, and you deserve whatever this opportunity, whatever this win is. It's kind of like you're finding the love of your life, and somebody around you is very jealous of that. You're getting the promotion, you got the big lottery win jackpot or something, right? And somebody else is saying, well, that's not fair. You don't deserve it, I deserve it. Well, that's not a very nice person. But with the compassion and with your love, you understand where they're coming from. It's not a nice thing to say to somebody. I think you would be very happy, even though you feel like, I kind of wanted the win, I need it, I deserve it too, but you could be very happy for somebody else and say, way to go, I'm proud of you, I'm happy for you. Doesn't mean everybody else is going to treat you that way, okay? I feel like that's kind of the situation. There is a secret admirer, though, which is kind of a strange kind of counterbalance to this. Somebody secretly doesn't like you, and somebody secretly really, really does like you. And I think both of those people are going to be exposed in the very near future for you, okay? The Ace of Wands here in the background, this is your inspiration, this is your idea. This is even let's say, the invitation that you're getting, like seeing that sort of doorway appear and claiming it and thinking, there are other people that deserve it too, but this one's coming to me. This one's for me to claim, okay? And I want you to let me know in the comments if you're ready to claim this. I feel like you're not going to refuse it in order to let this other person claim it, okay? I feel like it's meant for you. I feel like it is your fate, and I feel like you need to claim it. And maybe this is about you kind of taking credit for something that you did, for your accomplishment, or taking credit for your idea, or kind of, stepping up and saying, this is my work, and kind of getting the rewards for that work, okay? Because I feel like you have been very concentrated on something. You've really worked hard for this. There's no reason why you should refuse it to try to let somebody else claim it, whatever it might be, okay? This is always a card of, an inspiration, a concentration of effort, okay? This was the beginning of some sort of process for you, okay? This was the beginning of maybe the beginning of the job. This was you working toward the promotion, or kind of like realizing that you wanted to do something. And of course, you work hard and you achieve it, and there are other people that kind of say, well, I wanted it, so how dare you earn it? I wanted it. But see, I don't think you have that kind of competitive energy. You weren't competing with these other people. I think you were just trying to do the very best that you could do because you want to improve your life, okay? So the Seven of Cups that we have at the end, I feel like that really is the exposure of this other person who has that really, like, it feels like it's a pretty nasty jealousy that they have, okay? But you're going to stand tall anyway. You're going to claim the win. You're going to claim the spotlight, okay? Up here with the Queen of Swords, this is more of like an objective look at things. I think what this is kind of like you're stepping back, you're getting a bird's eye view, you're seeing people for who they really are. I think you have an ability to step outside of your own emotions, because I feel like you tend to assume the best from everybody, and you want to believe that everybody has the best intentions. You want to believe that everybody is like a good person, and that they're fair, and that they're filled with compassion, But I think this situation kind of gives you a more objective view of people. Yeah. And I think it's kind of, in a way, it's kind of sad. We don't want to lose that belief in everybody else, But I think somebody really is like, they seem to be an outlier. Okay, this person that is revealing their kind of toxic jealousy, or, I feel like that is an anomaly in your life. I feel like there are not a lot of people around you that are like that. There's going to be a bad apple here and there, But I feel that you're getting this sort of bird's eye view of your life, and you're able to not only recognize this one kind of bad actor, but I think you're also able to further appreciate the good people that you do have in your life. Okay? So I feel like there are a lot of people that are, it's almost like a lot of people are clapping for you. You see a lot of people that are cheering you on, rooting for you, and then you look around the crowd and there's one person that's just, has a mean mug on their face. Right? That's kind of the thing. Everybody else is clapping. Everybody else is just really supportive of you, but there's like that one person, right? That just seems like disgruntled. Seems like really mad that you got it and they didn't. Whatever it could be, at work, at home, at school, doesn't matter. It could be romance, it could be finance, okay? But I think the revelation of that is startling, but it's also kind of a blessing to kind of have that kind of realization that, okay, not everybody is going to be supportive of me. That doesn't have to change how you are supportive of everybody else. You're not going to let that person's energy, I don't know who they are, you're not going to let that person's energy kind of taint or stain your experience of life or the way that you operate, the way that you support everybody else. Okay? I want you to hit the like button. I want you to claim this reading. If it resonates with you, tell me your story. Tell me how this is playing out. It seems like it's a little bit of a complex situation in the future position. 9 of Swords. That's cruelty. That's Mars in Gemini. That's someone that's trying to separate you from your win. Someone that's trying to separate you from the things that you love. Okay? That if they can't have it, they don't want anybody else to have it either. So they're trying to put a wedge between you and everything, whatever this might be. If this is a particular person or it's a job, it's a promotion, they would rather, if they can't have it, they would rather ruin it for everybody else. And I don't think that's going to fly with you. Okay. So this is something to recognize, but what do you really do with a 9 of Swords? I think you just sort of ignore it. I think you get it out of your life, okay? You show it as much, compassion in your heart as you can, but you don't interact with it. You don't stoop to that level. The 9 is a force multiplier in the tarot. All of the 9 cards are force multipliers. What does this card multiply? Misery. Misery loves company, okay? And I think that this person, I feel like it's a person, I don't know who it is, feels like if they're feeling bad, they want everybody else to feel bad too. They walk into a room and it's like a black cloud. They walk into a room and the whole vibe of the room gets like just dragged down into the mud. And that's really unfortunate, and it's easy to get angry at somebody like that. I feel like you have compassion for that person. It doesn't mean that you're going to succumb to it. Doesn't mean that you're going to sink into that or be captured, ensnared, or trapped by their negativity. Okay, you're not going to get infected by that. You can have compassion for the Walking Dead, right? But you don't want to get bitten by one of them things. I don't know if anybody even watches that show anymore. I liked it at the beginning, and I feel like it was more a social commentary than it was a sci-fi horror kind of thing. But anyway, it's the force multiplier, okay? And we don't want that to spread. So what do? Well, you could reach out to this person. I feel like you're somebody that will try to connect, that you'll try to use some positive energy to help that person to connect, to sort of have a conversation or show some love to them, okay? Because they're obviously hurting, and they kind of want others to hurt too, okay? But you have to be careful. You have to, I think, protect your energy and protect whatever this is for you. You have the kind of spirit and the kind of heart that will want to help them. Okay, just be careful with that. Let's talk about the path of the serpent. Now, I want you to subscribe to the channel. I want you to hit the like button if this is resonating with you, and, well, tell me your story, okay? I want you to tell me which one of these cards really is hitting home, yeah? Your general energy is the Princess of Cups. This is, again, a very compassionate person. This is somebody that's very moved by their feelings. And it's almost pity, in a way. It's kind of like saying that you feel so strongly about this that you can't help but to behave in a certain way. Okay? It's like you see the zombie and you feel so bad for the zombie that you just want to run and give the zombie a hug and say, I'm sorry. But you can't, right? You can't do that. We want to feel our compassion and our empathy and our pity, but we don't always need to let the Princess of Cups drive the boat, you know? We can feel that, but we have to kind of make an executive decision about how to deal with that. The same thing with the secret admirer, okay? The same thing with the person that's kind of secretly like, you know, kind of more interested in you than the average person, yeah? And so that might be so flattering that it motivates you to behave in a certain way, but you can't let the Princess of Cups drive the boat, right? On either end, whether this is the jealous, kind of criticizing, cruel person, or the way too nice, kind of loves you too much, kind of, admirer, you can't let either one of those energies motivate your behavior too much. It's okay to feel good. It's okay to get that extra praise, that extra attention from somebody and like it. That feels good. I like that. I like getting attention, you know. But it doesn't mean that you need to be drawn into something that's not appropriate for you, okay? Your emperor still has to be the boss here and still has to keep the Princess of Cups in line. So just be careful on either end, because this is going to be that kind of emotional energy that you need to, as our Queen of Swords is doing, take a step back and really look at this situation from that bird's eye view and understand that, okay, even when somebody is extra nice to me, I can't fall for that too much. And then when somebody is extra mean to me, I can't be dragged into that energy either. You have to maintain your uprightness. You've got to stand tall here and make the right decisions, okay? Especially now that you're kind of in the spotlight, you're in this leadership role. Okay, it's kind of like you're getting promoted at work, you're the boss now. You're gonna have somebody that's really mean to you. They're trying to bait you into a reaction that then they can point the finger at you and say, oh, see, they're terrible for the job. On the other hand, somebody's being extra nice to you, secret admirer kind of thing. They're not necessarily trying to bait you, but in a way, if you start giving them preferential treatment, that jealous person can say, see, look, they're just playing favorites. So you've got to be very careful about how you handle yourself now, because it feels like you're getting a lot more attention all around. You're kind of in the spotlight, okay? Because of whatever this win is, whatever this breakthrough is, you're kind of shining your light now, and other people are noticing that. So it's important that you stay in control, yeah. The Hermit in the environment here, this represents those people, both the admirer and the critic, that are kind of hiding at the moment. And I think in some ways, when you reveal yourself, when you stand up and you claim this win, okay, because of it feels like a creative risk that you're taking, okay, you shining your light is going to expose a lot of other people. You're going to have a very clear vision of who is for you, who is with you, and who's against you. Okay? When you get a win in life, think about any win that you've ever had, where it felt good and you wanted to celebrate. Think about who was there for you and supported you and was happy for you, and who was kind of like grumbling maybe under their breath, or even like who could have been very like wishing ill upon you behind your back. Okay? And I think nobody would do that, you know. This situation for you is revealing, I think, that one kind of bad apple that is kind of not happy for you when you get the win. But I think it also is showing you all the people around you that are very happy for you when you get the win. There's people that are genuinely happy. Even if their life's not going so well, they're genuinely happy that you've got good stuff in your life, that things are getting better for you, that you're being lifted up, that it's time for your star to rise. Okay. And the Hermit, I think, is also you. I think the Hermit is you really stepping up and claiming this invitation or claiming this win or going through this doorway and not hiding your light away. Bringing your Emperor to the forefront, revealing your true self, revealing your light. You don't have to wear the robe of invisibility, the cloak of invisibility, or the robe of anonymity. Okay? You are, well, you're a star, but you are now kind of a recognizable person. It's kind of like you're claiming your role as like a main character. Okay, and so it's kind of like, you know, people are going to know your name in this situation. In other words, right? So I feel that it's something that's kind of putting you into the spotlight more than you're used to. But I feel like it's really what you've been wanting. Maybe you didn't want all of the kind of politics or the jealousy or all that kind of, you didn't want the recognition necessarily. All you wanted was the money, F the fame, right? To quote some song lyrics anyway. Because I think you are kind of a simple person. I think you wanted this, you wanted to have a good life, you wanted to enjoy life, you wanted to connect with people, and now that there's this kind of, there's too much attention from this one person, there's like negative attention from this other person, and it's just like, can we just go back to being simple? Can I go back to being just an anonymous employee that kind of nobody knows who I am, flying under the radar, you know? But this is something that's fated for you, something that you're meant to do. The Three of Pentacles is the card of work. It's Mars in Capricorn. And to me, because this card's in the position of the obstacle, all you want to do is just do the work. You want to keep doing the work and keep expanding that Wheel of Fortune, you know? It's kind of saying that that's going to be the hardest part, is for you to just get down to business and do the work that you're meant to do, because there's all these relationship type of things happening, okay? There's all those... where there's that jealousy, there's the secret admirer, and it's just like, can I just go back to being nobody, you know? I just want to do the work. Yeah, and that's kind of the problem with getting a promotion or something, right? Because it's like, and I don't know if this is happening at work, this could be a creative thing, it could be at home, it could be relationships in general, it could be romantic stuff. The very thing that is kind of bringing this opportunity to you is the very thing that's going to be like almost impossible to do now. You get that promotion, let's say you work in a factory and you're putting stuff together. You get that promotion and now it's like you don't get to put the stuff together anymore. You don't get to do that work. Now you're in kind of a higher position where you're managing people. You're not actually doing that work anymore. The hands-on kind of thing. So I feel like there's a shift in the type of work that you're doing now. Okay? There's a shift in, maybe this isn't work, maybe this is creativity, maybe this is relationships. There's a shift in like the actual physical like behaviors. Okay? There's a shift happening in what you're doing. You're not going to be interacting the same way with this thing or person or this activity or in the relationship. Okay, things aren't going to work the way they worked before. And I think that is going to take a little bit of adjustment. Okay. It's going to take a little bit of time for things to reharmonize. Okay, so maybe a little bit of like extra effort in order to figure out the new routines. Yeah. You have a Seven of Cups here at the end. Seven of Cups to me is the realization of something's true nature. You're able to see through the facade, because the Seven of Cups usually is someone or something that is masquerading as something very lovely. Somebody that will smile to your face while kind of shoving the knife into your back, you know? And so this is you now kind of realizing that. You've got those glasses on where you can kind of see into someone's true nature. And this isn't always a bad thing. To me, it feels like you're seeing those people that that may be rather quiet, but they secretly love you and they want you to succeed and they're rooting for you. And then those people that kind of smile in your face, but they don't want you to succeed. So you're able to kind of to tell what's going on beneath the surface with people. And maybe that's why you're getting this sort of this promotion or this opportunity, because you are good at doing that. Okay? And I think that sometimes you give people the benefit of the doubt more than they deserve. Okay? And I think you got to be careful with that, because not that you're too trusting, but that you assume everybody has good intentions until they prove otherwise. Okay? I think sometimes you have to see the truth before they prove it. You know what I mean? Because sometimes once there's proof, it's kind of too late. They've already done something. Let's look at the mystery card. I want this to be some prosperity. I want you to, because now it kind of feels like, well, what's the point of even taking this? It seems like it's just going to be annoying and troublesome. And I want to see some really good fortune here. I want to see some pentacles. I want to see some good water energy. If you have a prediction, though, put it in the comments. Let's see what we have. Seven of Swords. It's kind of thing in the grass is greener on the other side, and it's kind of this thought process, like things were better before. Things were just so much simpler before. Okay? But I think, that's a natural way to experience something like this. This is your destiny. This is your fate. This is what you're kind of meant to be doing in your life. It's a natural progression of whatever work it is you're doing or whatever situation this is. It doesn't mean it's always going to feel so pleasant. Okay, sometimes it is like a lot of responsibility, and you just think, it would have been better if I just stayed on the factory floor. If I would have just stayed, I could have just flown under the radar. I've been anonymous. This life was so much simpler and so much easier before this, And so I think the idea here is that there's always going to be a mixed blessing about things, You're letting your light shine, and I think that you're putting yourself out there, you're claiming the win, your life is getting better and better in certain ways, but it's also getting more complex. It's also now you're kind of dealing, more money, more problems, right? You're dealing with more issues, more interpersonal things that are happening now. But the trade-off is that you're getting a lot more abundance, you're getting a lot more responsibility, you're progressing in whatever this is for you. I think the 7 and the 7 here is also part of that recognition of somebody that you thought was a certain way is proving to you that they're the opposite way. Okay? So in other words, don't be distracted by somebody that kind of like claims to love you too much, Don't be fooled by somebody that is going to smile in your face, but they have like a resentment. Okay? So just pay attention. Pay attention and try to keep try to stay objective. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, we'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There is a link in the corner here. There's a link in the video description here. New readings for Leo on Mondays and Thursdays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you are watching from. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we are all in this together.